Straight ahead on The Drift, Marine Trades and Careers Special. They are the Massachusetts Marine Trades Association, here to help you chart a course toward fulfilling a career in the marine trades. And At the Helm with Boat US has some helpful tips that'll have you docking like a captain. Plus, is a career in marine law enforcement right for you? We'll go aboard for a day in the life of a marine resource officer. Our own Mr. Yachts introduces us to the tradespeople who are essential to the yacht biz. Also, it's a family affair of 3 generations in the marine trades and a unique partnership with the Massachusetts Cultural Council. All this and a whole lot more is right around the bend on The Drift. Hello and welcome to The Drift. I'm your host, Sierra Goodwill. New England holds a rich tradition in boat building, and sprinkled throughout many of its small towns are the craftsmen who have supported it for generations. And as part of The Drift's Marine Trades and Career Special, John introduces us to a family business that is working uniquely with the Massachusetts Cultural Council and sharing the artistry of wheel building.
True New England boat builder, craftsman, artisan story. You know, 3 generations deep, building the same wheel that your grandfather built all those years ago.
Well, I'm lucky that I feel as though I got a very good start with my family, because there is no place to learn this. There are no schools. I'm kind of stuck between the worlds of being a furniture maker, and the closest I would say would be a pattern maker or a cabinet maker. And the boat builders. The boat building schools do not teach these skills. Right. And furniture schools, they only want to work with furniture. They don't think that wheels are furniture. And what I say is that for a steering wheel, it's a piece of fine furniture that has to stand up to the elements, which has to be built pretty strong. And I was asked to be part of an exhibit with the National Park Service, as well as it was funded through the Massachusetts Cultural Council and the National Endowment for the Arts to exhibit the wheels that I build. And what I found was, especially in the Cultural Council, they realized that this is a very unique skill.
Oh, it sure is. Right.
Specific to Massachusetts, and they wanted to see it be passed on. They actually consider me to be an endangered artisan, which I hope I'm not endangered yet.
The Fullers are not endangered artisans. They're still going. Well, that's interesting. That
it's a big process, but they have a folk arts program, and that trains artisans, apprentices. So the way it worked was I had to apply to do the apprenticeship. They had to qualify me as being the artisan, master artisan. Okay. And then I had to choose who I want to work with. And they had to also qualify. And I've done this twice, once with a gentleman who was in his 20s. But recently, and this is ongoing right now, is I'm doing this with my daughter.
Oh, great.
So she's 23, and she'll be the 4th generation of my family to build steering wheels.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
is she catching on?
She's catching on. It took a little while, you know, and it's hard for me to teach. I mean, for one thing is, this is something I've done all my life, so it's like I have to think about what I'm doing, where it's just natural.
Yeah, teaching is always difficult.
But she's doing great. She's built 1 wheel so far.
Nice.
And you know, and she's excited about it, and you know, because
a
it's
4th generation female Fuller.
Yeah.
Taking the helm, so to speak. And building the wheels. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just things are good.
What you do is amazing. I'm glad things are good for you. Nice work. Love it.
Really impressive stuff, and you can find more boat builds at driftsociably.com and at driftsociably on social media. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and drift sociably with us. Straight ahead on The Drift, the Boat US pros are at the helm with a few tips on backing into your slip with a single outboard. Plus, they are part mechanic, part detective, and your best friend if you're buying a mega yacht. Mr. Yachts introduces us to the Surveyors.
At the Helm is brought to you by Boat US. Better boating starts here.
So today, we're gonna do it. We're going to make you a master at backing into a slip. It's easy, right? This time in our At the Helm with Boat US segment, we're going to show you the best backing techniques using a single engine outboard. Show us how easy it is, Eric.
We're going to demonstrate backing into a slip in a single engine outboard. Keep in mind that your outboard very likely has a right-hand propeller, which backs more readily to port than to starboard. Trim the engines out so most of the wash goes under the bottom of the boat rather than up against the transom. It makes it a lot easier to handle. It's helpful to keep the pivot point in the middle of the slip as you make your approach. The pivot point is about 1/3 of the way back from the bow, usually about where you stand or sit to drive the boat. When docking the boat, starboard side to, as we'll be doing here, we'll make our approach with the rudder alternately ahead to port and back to starboard, repeating until we're lined up at the dock. It may help to wait until the rudder is all the way left or right before putting the engine in gear, but sometimes you'll want to put it in gear as you're shifting, as we'll see. Just experiment to see how it works for you. It's important to stay in control and not get going too fast ahead or astern. The objective is to end up parallel to the dock and stopped with no headway or sternway, ready to put out your lines. Now let's see how it's done. Okay, so here we go. We're approaching our slip. We're going to back in and tie up starboard side to. So I'm probably about a boat length off the end of the dock right now, and I've got a tender with a sharp outboard pointing at me, so I'm going to give that plenty of room. And I want to get some of my sternway off, and I want to start getting the boat around here. When you're maneuvering a single engine boat, if you put the engine in gear before you have the wheel where you want it to direct the thrust in the correct direction, sometimes it'll mess you up, but sometimes it helps you get the sternway off the boat too. So I'm just working our way in here. And the objective is, once you get to the dock, you want the boat to be parallel to the dock so that the boat lands perfectly flat on and have no headway or sternway, just like we are just now. That's a good landing. So now we'll put the lines out and tie the boat up, and we're ready to go home.
Well, I guess it's that easy, and another tip that'll keep this boater slipping in like a captain. Better Boating starts at BoatUS.com. Visit them for more helpful boating tips. Straight ahead on the Drift, could a career in the marine trades be right for you? The Massachusetts Marine Trades Association has your answer. We spend some time with them right here on the Drift Marine Trades and Career Special. The Drift Cares segment is when we take the time to feature and salute those people and organizations who selflessly give back. And one organization caring about those in the marine trades is the Massachusetts Marine Trades Association. Today, as part of the Drift Marine Trades and Career Special, John spends some time with them and the Executive Director, Randall Lyons, to find out how this organization provides the framework for furthering the interests of marine trades through the promotion of boating, participation in legislation, and professional improvement programs.
So we all know that boating is on fire right now, right? And trying to keep up with the trades in the industry has got to be difficult. Where is the marine trade situation? What is that situation like right now?
So a lot of what we focus on is ultimately the economic impact of boating in Massachusetts. So as an overview within the industry, we have about 1,000 businesses, and the economic impact is about $4.4 billion with approximately 20,000 employees. So as you mentioned, it certainly is a hot industry right now. A lot of our member organizations are doing well. Boats are selling, people are using their boats. It's a great time to be out on the water enjoying a recreational activity in a safe manner. So we've been fortunate to work with the state on workforce funding. We've been able to capitalize on some grants over the last few years. We've been able to work with some of the trade schools here in Massachusetts to support the marine industry, just to help focus on building the trades, building the industry, and building the future leaders of our industry as well. Without a doubt, the technical side, the hands-on skill set is the biggest demand within our industry. As an arm or a branch of the Mass Marine Trades Association, we also have an educational trust, which is the 501c3 nonprofit organization. And through that trust, we offer scholarship funding for those interested in entering the industry. And then we also do a grant program for nonprofit youth boating programs. And then one of the new things we started offering is called our Tools of the Trade program, where we'll give gift cards to Snap-on or Harbor Freight or one of the industry leaders that are focusing on building somebody's toolbox. And this is good for a new mechanic who's entering the industry and they find out, hey, I've got to invest. I need my tools. Right. Absolutely. Right. So we'll give them $300 right off the bat to help support that toolbox and again, to encourage them to stay and build themselves within the industry and grow within the recreational boating industry here in the state. But again, I mean, you have that hands-on skill set, you have the desire to work, the ability to grow and expand, and I think the biggest thing is the desire and passion. Once you get into this industry, you're going to find people that are very passionate about boating in general as recreational customers, and the industry as employees. You're passionate about what you do.
Tell me a little bit more about the Business of Boating Conference.
Sure. So every year, our association runs, as you mentioned, the Business of Boating. We call it the BOB Conference. It's an educational conference that focuses on our members. We try to hit as many topics as we can throughout the day. Employment law, government relations, technological advances within the industry, and then just overall industry updates and more. So it's a nice educational start to the season, to the year for our members. One of the key things that I always like to mention is in Massachusetts, or even on the national level, 95% of boats sold in the U.S. are made in the U.S. And then the other compelling statistic is 95% of boats are trailerable boats. They're under 26 feet. So you don't have to be extremely wealthy to own a boat. I mean, you can own a boat. There's an affordable boat options out there.
Just go to a boat show, and they will find a way for you to own a boat. I was just
about to tell you, the New England Boat Show is coming in February.
If you walk into a boat show and say, is it possible that I could own a boat? They'll find a way for you to
absolutely.
own a boat. All right, one more time on the scholarship, if folks want to apply for that, and the website.
Yes, sir. So the scholarship funding can all be found on our main job site, which is massboatingcareers.com. Again, massboatingcareers.com. Our association site is just boatma.com. Any questions for me, any follow-up, if you want to learn more about the recreational boating industry, I'd be happy to chat with anybody.
Randall Lyons, thank you, man.
You're very welcome.
Wonderful people doing amazing work. And as always, you can find more Drift Cares at driftsociably.com and at driftsociably on social media. Up next, could marine law enforcement be the right career for you? And before you shell out those millions for your next mega yacht, you may want to have these guys along for a cruise.
The Drift Podcast can be found at driftsociably.com.
And now it's time for From the Cast. It's always an informative slice from the Drift Podcast. Many choose rewarding careers in marine law enforcement and marine resources. Today, we meet the president of the Cape and Islands Harbor Masters Association and 2019 Shellfish Constable of the Year award winner, Timothy Cox. And we find out that there's a whole lot more to a job in marine law enforcement than just enforcing the laws.
Tim Cox is a harbor master in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, which is the Northeast, up on Buzzards Bay, our hometown where we keep our boat. And Tim is what I would consider a great harbor master. Tim, you are a local guy in the town where he lives, knows just about everyone, knows the waterways like the back of his hand. Take me through the day in the life of a harbor master. You know, you're not just writing citations to jet skiers. You're responsible for all the shellfish side of, and look, I'm going to brag for you, Timmy. All right, when you get the Massachusetts Shellfish Officers Association Shellfish Constable of the Year,
yes,
that's impressive. You should feel good about that, and I know we felt good about that as a town when you got that, and that had a lot to do with some of the other side. It's not just about shutting down areas and giving people buttons and license to shellfish. Talk about some of the other work you do about sort of the growing of the shellfish and the seeding and the like.
Yeah, so we're running a couple different programs to grow shellfish out. We have a couple upwellers where we're growing cohogs. This past year, we got 800 and something thousand seed of cohogs, and we grew them out in the upweller. We planted them out in a protected area for the winter, and we're trying something different this year. We're gonna bring them back and put them back in the upweller to see if we can grow them out big enough so we can just field plant. We did 2 1-acre sites where we created a reef on the bottom of the ocean, and we put bags of culch at the hatchery, and they planted it in a pool. And when the oysters had spat the babies, they cling to the shells. We probably did, we did 2 years in a row. We probably did 400 and something thousand oysters each year. So
that's amazing. You are the epitome, as I said, of a good local harbor master. It's not a big department. Everyone knows Tim. We know there's something going on when we're sitting on our boat in our marina. When we see a truck fly in with the lights flashing, you get on the boat, you say, what's going on out there? And typically, you're heading out there to help somebody. And, you're out there all year long, working on the commercial side, working on the the residential side, the pleasure craft side, and we appreciate it.
Tim Cox and all of the harbor masters, marine resource officers, and law enforcement officials are so greatly appreciated. For more information on how to pursue a career in marine law enforcement or marine resources, check out the full podcast. And remember to follow the Drift Podcast at driftsociably.com, on our social platforms at Drift Sociably, and where all fine podcasts are found. So this is our Marine Trades and Careers special, so we put our own Mr. Yachts Nick Cardoza on assignment to find the folks in his world who enjoy a trade in the yachting world. These guys survey yachts and make certain the mega buyers get what they're paying for.
Hey. Hello, hi. Hey, how you doing? How are you? Good to see you. Nick Cardozo. Nick, how are you? All right, I'm good, man. Good. Everything looking good? Everything looking good. So I think we have a schedule. So yeah, we're gonna leave in like 20 minutes, I think. No problem. How much time do you need? We're ready.
All right, so we're underway down in Miami. We're going to, we're going to do the full sea trial and the engine survey down there. When you choose a surveyor, you want to go with somebody who's reputable. So anyway, so what do you do on a boat survey? Like on an engine survey? Just I want to explain to them what are the things you look for? What is your job?
Okay, basically we start with a cold start inspection, which is at the beginning of the day. We check the engines for any leak already there present, and also we check the fluids, the concentration of the coolant, the oils, and etc. We do that with the generator as well, and the transmission. Once we have that, we get ready for the sea trial, and we check basically all the performance for the engines, pressures, temperatures, smoke, any leak, noise, and we record all the information to provide a good report to the customer. At the end of the survey, we pull the oil samples from the mains, transmissions, and generators, and those oil samples are sent to the lab.
The buyer is going to be on board, so we want to show them, hey, this boat performs as it's supposed to. We've got the engine surveyor on board. We're comparing the RPMs. We've got the computer hooked up to it. Everything's reading okay, or maybe it's not going to. Let's see. We're starting the sea trial right now. So basically what we do is the engine mechanic's down in the engine room, he's got his headphones on, he's checking to make sure everything's going okay. And then up here on the helm, what we're doing is we're testing the RPMs to the speed ratio, right? So we're gonna go in increments of 100 RPMs all the way up to the max and make sure that the boat's performing at the speed that it's supposed to at that RPM. Check out this big rooster tail.
Did you find anything wrong with these engines while we were underway? There's a missing bolt. Oh, okay. There's a leak through this bolt that is missing. So okay. We're gonna need to find the bolt and put it back. It's funny. All 10 bolts.
We've got the surveyor here. He's been going through the boat all morning. All right, everybody, this is Steve Clady.
Hey, Steve Clady, South Florida Marine Surveyor.
Hi, yeah, Rich Murray, Nautical Yacht Group. We take care of this boat full time and also the broker on the sale.
So what are some of the things you look for on a survey, just to like give
On the outer water portion, we're looking for delamination of the hull bottom with the fiberglass. Obviously doing all the through hull fittings. And with this style of drive, it's called Arneson drive, we're going to be looking for any stray current corrosion of the running gears.
So what are you doing, Steve? What are you checking for?
Looking for soft spots, delamination, fiberglass voids.
Okay, so soft spots, delamination, fiberglass. What did we find here?
Yeah, something to go back and look at when I...
So what he's doing is he's listening to the noise, the pitch. So give us your, like, you know, rundown so far. Like, did you find anything like crazy wrong or?
No, it looks pretty good.
In the end, the seller ended up making a couple of concessions so that we could come to a deal. And everybody made a pretty good deal. Because remember, it's not a great deal unless everybody's happy.
A solid survey is so important, and I'd feel a lot better about dishing out those millions if these guys were knocking on my hull. As always, for the full Mr. Yachts survey segment, visit driftsociably.com. Well, Drifters, that's it for this time, and as always, thanks for joining us at the social place for boating, The Drift. For more content like this, like, follow, share, and subscribe to The Drift at Drift Sociably, or visit us at driftsociably.com. For all of us here at The Drift, I'm Sierra Goodwill. Drift sociably. Get the drift?
The Drift has been brought to you by Boat US. Better boating starts here. Join today.